This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Ross, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts.
We got a new world champion.
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts and 3 Counts is the podcast, baby. They're the real deal, baby.
Knockouts and 3 Counts starts now.
Ooh, what up, though? It is another Thursday. This is Knockouts and 3 Counts, and it's the second half of the 2024 Knockouts, the Pro Wrestling Edition. And as you can see, J-Bone and Corey are MIA today, so I had to call in the big guns for some help. We got the return of our friend TK Trinidad and the debut of Councilman Pharoh over here. I appreciate you coming through, man. If you guys have seen me over on Women's Wrestling Talk, here's your masterminds. Thanks for coming on the show.
Glad to
What's
be here.
up? Thanks for having me.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Excited.
Always a good time. Thanks for checking us out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on Knockouts and 3 Counts too. Plenty of good stuff to be had there. But before we get into the categories and all those things, like you said, TK, it's been a minute since you've been on the show. Fill us in on what's been new with you. I know you've been spending a lot of time over there in the Caribbean. I'm fucking jealous.
Shout out to our sponsor, All Caribbean Wrestling. So me and Gerard Bonner, aka Professor, if you guys are familiar with our show, we have the commentary team for All Caribbean Wrestling, and we have been traveling quite a bit, and it's been fun, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. Definitely wasn't on my bingo card January of this year, but just did amazing things, and WWT is growing. We added Councilman Pharoh, and if you guys don't know that story, you'll have to go back in the crates to see how Councilman Pharoh came to be, and warring with a lot of folks. It's been fun. WWE is growing. More things are on the docket, and that's the stuff that I can give away, that I'm allowed to give away. All I have to say is definitely stay tuned to WWT at the beginning of the new year, and definitely stay tuned to All Caribbean Wrestling, because they have some ultra big announcements coming down the pipes. So
Hell yeah, you love to hear it. Councilman, appreciate you joining the show. I've done plenty of watch-alongs with you at this point, man. Appreciate you coming through Knockouts and 3 Counts. What you got for thoughts on the wrestling year of 2024?
Oh, man, have no fear. Your councilman is here to let you know that 2024 was just the mecca for wrestling. Like, they shot the beam in the air, and it told everybody, hey, circle in, because it's going to be a year to have, not just WWE, but AEW, Ring of Honor, TNA, New Japan started. Like, everybody felt the tide raises all ships, and I think everyone elevated this year, and I cannot wait to see what happens in 2025. It's so great to be a wrestling fan right now.
I can't complain at all, dude. I mean, Knockouts and 3 Counts had quite the year ourselves. I mean, we got to work with WWE, AEW, TNA, UFC, Bellator, Bare Knuckle FC all in 1 year, man. So at the end of the day, I can't say that we did too bad ourselves, and I got to do quite a lot of commentary on my own this year. Not only I've gotten to do some wrestling, not as much as TK did. I got to do some commentary with D'Lo Brown, which was dope. I got to do a lot of commentary on the MMA end. Stay tuned for some of that. A little birdie told me that me and Team USA might have a date soon, so you might have to stay tuned to Knockouts and 3 Counts and see what's next with some of that, man. Shout out to Matt Friendo. We got a new promotion now in the works out of we are no longer Lights Out Championship. Make sure you guys are on the docket for Legends of Combat, which will be coming at you February 8th. And a little birdie told me there's going to be some badass fights for that one. And I'm looking forward, February 1st, excuse me. February 8th is 2-piece promotions. Man, we're booked all over the place with this MMA stuff. But today we're here to talk about the pro wrestling side of things. So, TK, ladies first around here. You know, we got manners. So I will let you pick the first topic.
Dang, you should have let me know. Let me pull the topics back up.
I got them up here. So you've got male and female wrestler of the year. You got breakout star, match of the year, promotion of the year, I got Breakout promotion, and I know those sound the same, but the reason I did that is because there were a few that I thought really kind of made a lot of headway. I got Story of the Year, Heel of the Year, Shocking Moment of the Year, Return of the Year, Indie Wrestler of the Year, Best PLE or Pay-Per-View.
Let's do Promotion of the Year.
I like it. Well, Councilman, do you have a pick on this one?
I mean, you already know what my obvious one is. It's gonna sound very biased, and it's because it is, because that is what I majorly watch. WWE was Promotion of the Year. If I need to explain it, I can, but I feel like the work spoke for itself year round and continuing. So I feel like, and I don't mean just because of money wise either, like just general from like where we were, what was going on, how other folks were feeling to where they are now is a huge step. So I'm going WWE for Promotion of the Year.
Can't argue that. TK, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have to agree with you. Just minus, it's definitely because of the money. The money and the leadership, those are the two main things. They already had the talent. So that's one thing. They're just doing something with the talent. So WWE, I mean, I don't even know if he can fit in this category, but shout out to Nick Khan, because when he first got brought on, that was his main goal, to get the company sold, to put it in a good position. And all these deals that he's made, is kind of gotten us to where we are right now. And, from the storylines to, the main event on Saturday to all that stuff, or, just the quality of the product, how NXT on CW is just very TV, Lucha Underground-esque, if you guys are familiar with that show. I'm just like loving everything that is happening with it. The one thing that I'm not loving, and this is more of a selfish thing, is just there's just not enough time in the week amongst the hustle of my life to watch it all in a timely fashion. That's the thing that I'm more annoyed about personally, but everything else is great.
Okay, so I got a question off of that though, because if I'm not mistaken, didn't you tell me on a previous episode of the show that you were later coming to the wrestling side of things? Because for me, I grew up watching since I was a kid, and an 8-year-old Kyle would have been in fucking heaven that there was that much wrestling at the time. I'm just saying, because I remember when you'd be like all huddled around the damn TV. Oh shit, Raw's on. Oh shit, Nitro's on. Oh shit, SmackDown's on. And now it's like you said, literally every day of the week you've got something, whether it's Raw, you got Raw, you got NXT, you got AEW comes Wednesday, Thursdays TNA, Fridays SmackDown, Saturday or Sunday you usually got a pay-per-view. I mean, dude, wrestling has pretty much and it's ironic too in the fact that UFC and WWE are under the same parent company, because it's a lot like what the UFC's done in a lot of ways when you think about it. The UFC damn near has whether it's a pay-per-view, a UFC fight night, something like that. They've got something literally every weekend. I think that's one of the big things that has really kind of gave them, like, we hear a lot of people say about it in wrestling, like WWE is the brand, right? Like when people think of pro wrestling, WWE is by default usually what most people think of.
Right.
In MMA, it's a lot of the same thing. You know what I mean? Like you got, the UFC, and then there's everybody else, whether that's PFL, 1FC, all that stuff. And it's funny with both of them, being under the same parent company, that you can literally see both companies almost doing the same thing. I hate to say it, but it sounds like we're all going to sound like a bunch of shills over here, but I got to obviously give it to WWE too, for a lot of the same reasons that both of you guys listed, in the fact that I don't usually look at things by like the money of that they're making and things, but it's hard not to when you think of it in the sense of like, dude, they are just selling out everywhere they go. and it's record numbers everywhere they go. And then the amount of people that are watching, like just hearing the amount of people that watched Saturday night's main event when it happened last week. Like, I thought that was so badass. It gave me enough of like the retro vibe to it while still having like the new school look. And I think that's a good representation in a lot of ways of like the way they're making every little thing, whether it's the pay-per-views that are abroad, which I always enjoy those because the crowds are usually just insane because they don't get it there that much, to like you said, the new things that they're making with like what we're going to get in 2025 with Netflix. I mean, they are continuing to raise the bar. Like you said, we've got as big in numbers as we do. And I mean, like you said, when WWE is at its hottest, I think it's unarguable by anybody that knows anything about wrestling that when WWE is doing really well, usually everybody else is doing well, at least most of the time. And I think this is one of those situations that you can really say that because you can see the trickle down effect. I think it's obviously it's helped TNA with the cross promotion with them at NXT, and then AEW has kind of obviously lost some numbers and things like that. But I mean, realistically, people are still talking about them all the time, whether it's AEW, WWE, Ring of Honor's got a lot of people talking right now because of the whole thing with Cardona and Jericho. I mean, I just think, like you guys have already mentioned, like you said, the rising tide raises all ships. And I think WWE is the one that's got the tide in their control right now. But Councilman, what category do you want to do next? What up, though, Chris?
Let's do indie wrestler of the year.
Well, I like it. Who do you got?
I'm going. Well, she's not indie no more, but for majority of the time she was. I'm going with Stephanie McClure as indie wrestler of the year.
I like that, but does that count though? Because she was in CMLL.
I mean, that's still technically. Where do you
indie
put
to us? But
that's what I'm saying. So where do you put CMLL? Because like that's still kind of.
I'll allow it. It's all right. I just wanted to hear the justification on CMLL.
Yeah, I would just say just because of like where it sits, it's still considered like an independent territory and stuff because it's still not like national yet. Well, let me not say national because it's in Mexico, but like if it was being shown here as well to be access for us to watch, I consider it like higher. But because it's where it is, it's like, okay, that's independent. But it still just even too speaks to like her story throughout this entire year, from being on those scenes to going into CMLL and being in New Japan and hitting AEW. Like she hit everything this year. And then to cap it off, you go to what is the biggest promotion in wrestling, which is WWE. So it's like that is probably like she's really like rookie of the year. If we're really talking about it, just from her trajectory of where she started in January to where she is now, she's a social media's dream for them little templates of show us where you started and where you are now. Like, look at me. So I'm going with Stephanie McClure for.
I like it, but she was totally a savage to AEW. That's like a side note, but she was a savage, dog. Showed up on her TV one week and then the next week said, fuck you, I'm in the WWE. But
hey, man, listen, with that contract, like,
hey, I ain't mad at it, bro. I'm not mad at it. I just thought it was savage because it was literally within like a week or 2 weeks time. That's all
I mean, but we know AEW has done that with some of those where WWE folks was heading out and it's like, hey, we got you as soon as you leave. Hey, we'll take care of it.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it was like foul play or anything. I just thought it was like the way she had the matches. I'm like, shit, she's going to AEW. And then, nope. There we go. She's at
WWE. She just need to scare him a little bit. Be like, hey, I can come on this AEW. All right. Sign right here. We got you.
Oh, yeah. TK, who you got?
Oh my gosh, I just had her name and then I lost it. Dang it.
You want me to give mine and you can come back to you?
Yeah. 'Cause I'm thinking of my secondary pick, but I just had my first and I just lost it because
Are they in
acting
TNA?
crazy.
Are they in New Japan? Are they in WWE?
No, they're not. They're no, they're indie. Oh, Janai Kai.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Past guest of the show. Shout out to Janai Kai. We've rocked with her for quite a while.
Keep talking. I just need to fix my computer, so I'm still
You're all
talking.
good.
Just
I definitely
taking my
rock with that pick. That's definitely a good pick. The Kick Demon is one of the homies here on Knockouts and Three Counts. I definitely like that one. She's your reigning MLW Women's Champion, so shout out to her. Also joined Contra this year, so is over there fucking shit up in MLW. So definitely shout out to Janai Kai. Definitely somebody we've got to bring back on the show soon. For me, okay, I guess maybe this makes this pick a little biased too, and I guess again, I guess it depends on your interpretation of indie. But given the fact that we also had this guy on the show this year, and a lot of things that he said here on the show really still ring true, and you see him a lot all over social media. My pick for this one is I got to go with Matt Cardona, dude. I mean, the way that
that counts. Yeah,
I gotta go with Matt Cardona. I feel like the way that this guy keeps himself fucking relevant, no matter where it is, whether it's GCW, whether it's AAW, whether it's JCW, Juggalo Championship Wrestling. I seen him at the show when I went to go cover that for them. Like, this dude is literally fucking everywhere. You know what I mean? And now you've got him going into this match, depending on when you're watching this, but tomorrow night, he's wrestling for the Ring of Honor World Championship against Chris Jericho too. I mean, the way that guy's been able to like keep himself in the news, and like if you listen to him talk, it's really crazy to think that he's been out on the indies for like 5 years now, and we're still talking about indie wrestling, right? You know what I mean? Like, he literally had a whole damn gimmick with it, and it's like for him to still be that hot on the indies after 5 years, I feel like says a lot about Matt Cardona, who is also one half of your first ever United's women's United States champion.
Yes.
Oh my, he's so good. He's so good.
Yeah. No, that's a great pick. Those are some great picks for the wrestler of the year.
Oh, I agree with that 100%, dude. Like, I think the indies have helped him a ton. I think if AEW is smart, now that they've got him back there again, I think it would be a really good idea to bring in Matt Cardona. If they don't, I still hold out hope that eventually we'll see him as Matt Cardona in WWE and not fucking Zack Ryder.
No, I think we will, just because even what they changed in WWE about them keeping their names and them not holding rights to him anymore, because it's like you don't want to switch that up. If he's known as Matt Cardona, the audience now knows him as that. Like, we haven't heard from Zack Ryder in almost 15 years. So like this new audience don't know who Zack Ryder is. So there's no reason for him to come back and be that. It's like, yo, be Matt Cardona.
I agree with that completely. But so you're saying, do you think he's just going to do another short run with AEW, or do you think they're going to just say fuck you and drop the ball again?
No, if he was smart, I would definitely, if I were them, I would use Matt Cardona to bring more of a shine to Ring of Honor and have him feature in AEW a lot more as far as that representation goes. I think his personality is too big for them to ignore with that. Like, you're going to have a whole bunch of interactions that Matt Cardona is going to want to be seen in with AEW, from Ospreay, Okada and Matt. Like, that's just pure entertainment right there. Him and
want to see
MJF.
more with Okada, period, first of all. But.
Yeah. So it's just like the possibilities are there. And I think like Matt Cardona has figured out his stock now. And he's been raising it more and more so now, to the point where it's like, okay, if I can be a needle pusher in AEW, there's nothing that's going to be, it's going to be smooth transition if I ever decide to go back to WWE.
But do you think if he did do that, like if that is how that played out, do you really think that don't you think that AEW would sign him to like a multi-year deal kind of thing? Like, honestly, if he does stay there?
Honestly, Matt has been in the game for so long. I think he can work his way into not a Mercedes Monet type contract, but I think he can work it in the way that would work best for him.
Oh, I think he'll try to do that. I just wonder, like, you know, you hear people talk about it all the time with TK and like wanting to let people go, not wanting to let people go. How does that work? Like, I'd like to hope that if AEW does bring him back in and they, you know, it's anything. Let's just say he wins the Ring of Honor championship tomorrow. You gotta hope that there's some kind of contract, because I'm gonna hold you. I was shocked when there wasn't the first time around.
Yeah, I think he does sign it. I agree. It's like kind of almost he would definitely want creative control, because I don't think he trusts the product to write for him as he's been able to write for himself on the indie scene. So, and let's be honest, everything that he's done on the indie scenes, like, you know, when I interviewed Steph DeLander and she was telling me how her and Matt got in their whole thing. It's just him and Chelsea, their creative minds on as far as how they think of wrestling and the stories. Like, if you look at, you know, Chelsea and what she did in TNA, or even what she's doing now, like, and when they both collectively talk about each other in interviews, like, it's no doubt, like, there's no way wherever he goes, he has to negotiate creative control, at least get part of it. You can't just let somebody just book for him. It's not going to work.
I agree.
I mean, I wouldn't argue that at all. I mean, like you said, the stuff he's been able to do has definitely helped him stay relevant. Well, I guess that means I got to pick one. So let's go. We'll go feud of the year, or story of the year, feud of the year, whatever the hell. The obvious pick, I feel like, for a lot of people is going to be the Bloodline, but the Bloodline's been one of those for quite a while. I think for the year of 2024, though, I think my favorite one might have to be Punk versus Drew.
That was a good match. That was,
not just the match, but for me, I'm a big fan of like the little things, right? When he fucked up the bracelet, that was pretty cool. When he took it out and just straight put it in his face and then just broke the shit, I was like, wow, that's
Drew's Twitter was top tier in this feud.
Yes, his Twitter troll game was like on another level, and the matches they had from Bash in Berlin to the Hell in a Cell and everything in between, I definitely think that was a story and a feud that I think did a lot for both of them. I think it showed WWE fans, and kind of reminded them how gritty that CM Punk could get. And I think for Drew, with him not having a title right now, I mean, that's arguably the next hottest storyline he was going to get in WWE. And the way that was able to last out that long, I feel like was badass. And you're still seeing shades of it even into what we're seeing from Drew now on Raw and all that stuff, like how he was about to jump Seth when he got attacked, or about to jump. Yeah, he was about to jump Seth when he got jumped before he could get to it. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of like hints and throwbacks to that. I think, like I said, that was definitely one that really elevated both of them. So I'll go Punk versus Drew. Whichever one of y'all wants to go next.
I mean, I can't. I'm trying to veer off to something else, but the Bloodline.
It's okay. We know who you represent. It's okay. Okay. It's okay, because you already know our favorites. We got our favorites. They gonna be in here.
Yeah, the Bloodline is just top tier, from the feuds, from the like the promos, from the vignettes in the pay-per-view. It was just top. And I do agree with you. Drew and CM Punk was a really legitimate close second. The Judgment Day had a great one too. But I mean, yeah, because it's not ended. Like, there's still more. I think that's why because you can't do that with everybody. Like, this is almost like a lifetime thing that we're experiencing.
We like 4 years into this Bloodline story?
Dude, yeah. This is one of the best storylines of the last 20 years, easy.
Yeah.
So and it's ever growing. Like, who knows how many kids there really are? Because it seems like there's a kid that comes out every 6 months.
Right.
You know, it's fucked up you say that, because when I was picking indie wrestler of the year, I'm not gonna lie, I picked Matt Cardona, maybe a little selfish because we had him on the show, but dude, if I didn't go with him, I was gonna go with Zilla Fatu, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
that's the name that we keep hearing everybody talk about, and lo and behold, that also ties into the bloodline again. But you know, that's a name I kept hearing everywhere. But to your point, like the bloodline, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I jumped more from what Kyle was also saying, because we've been in that for like almost 4 years now. I've focused here on the 2024 stories, and I would say the rise and fall of Tony Storm. The rise and fall of Tony Storm, I think, was the story of the year.
Not mad at that.
Yeah, like one.
If she hadn't had the long layoff, she definitely would have been in my running for like female wrestler of the year. So like,
she really like didn't come back. She lost and never came back. Like that's character wise, that's wild. That's how that was written. And I think that's probably the best story AEW has ever produced as far as a wrestling story. So I would say like her rise and fall this entire year was story of the year.
Yeah, but the problem is this, and I agree with you, but the problem is the sustainability, meaning that her rise and fall, pass it off to Mariah May, and like for all the excitement for when she signed, when she became champion, there wasn't like the excitement wasn't there. And then also the stories were not, it's like they kind of had a misstep. And it's kind of like, okay, you did so well with Tony, now do the same thing with another character and do equally as good. Because it's like, so then now it leads me to believe like, oh, was this a fluke? Or are you guys actually like, are you throwing ideas at the wall and then, oh, here we go? Or are you actually looking at the person, seeing what's going to work and seeing what's going to pop off? That's
well, remember, every movie don't need a sequel. Just think about that. Sometimes,
right? This is not a movie. This is wrestling.
I know,
week
but
in, week out. Get it right.
This is we don't need it. We didn't need an addition. It's like the Penguin series. We only getting one season. It's like, all right, it gave us everything we needed though. So we necessarily don't need that pocket, and they're choosing to move to a different chapter. Is it right?
To TK's point, though, you know, the one thing I will say is when you see a story like this, like you mentioned with the whole Tony Storm thing, the one thing that frustrates me so bad with AEW is it's like when you see something like that, that's just like you said, is so good. Why the fuck can't we see that with like more of this stuff? Like that's all I want to know.
Well,
like this shows that you have the ability, whether how much of that was Tony on her own or the collaboration of all of it. All I'm saying is like that shows that it can be done in AEW. So could we like see a little more of that?
The reason why, and I said this on WWT Live, is because Tony Khan makes this like if it's not supposed to be on TV. Like if this was like not televised and you were told that this show was happening, you'd go watch it because you know, like, yo, I have to see it because I'm not going to see it nowhere else. And he shoots it like that. So it's not no story. It's more just focused on what kind of crazy things can we put together for them to have. Let's make a dope theme and then put that out because it's like, okay, so where does this lead to? We'll see. We'll get there. And it's like, yo, this ain't sports. Even how he shoots like AEW's Dynamite, he shoots it like if you're watching a football game. And it's like, yo, like you're missing out on principal shots that are used in a wrestling promotion because you're supposed to be telling a story. And you're not shooting it like that. You're shooting it at like sports athletes going at it. Which again, that's technically you're right. But it's like you're missing what makes it theatrical. And you're just focusing on the sports side. Yeah.
I can get with that. Councilman, since you were last up, you pick the next topic.
We've done a person, we've done a story. Let's do match of the year.
All right, what you got?
So, of course, being the councilman, I always try to find these loopholes and how we can make wrestling great again.
Oh Lord!
So I have two. That I'm giving an award to. I know it's supposed to be one. Well, actually, you didn't say if it had to be one. So
Damn it, it's my show, and I was stuck in between two of them myself. So
okay, I was like, he didn't say that we couldn't have two.
technically, you're usually supposed to pick one, but since I fucking am stuck in between two of them myself, go ahead.
Yeah, I the first one I'm gonna go with is Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, Hell in a Cell, at Bad Blood, and then the Women's Iron Survivor match at NXT Deadline.
Say that one more time. What were they again?
Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood, and then the Women's Iron Survivor match at NXT Deadline. I think those were the matches of the year.
That match was badass. Poor Ren Sinclair just took a lot of naps in the penalty box.
Well, she played her part. She
still damn near won. So I mean, what can I say? Maybe she had a good plan.
She showed, like, now she's on TV all the time. She did just what she's supposed to do. Now she's not just sidelined on the no quarter catch crew. She's getting matches, and she's getting more matches than most of them in new quarter catch crew now. So she did what she was supposed to do. But I also like that it set us back to what the initial story was, which was Julia and Roxanne. Like, it made us realize, like, we went on a dope side mission with all of these new characters coming in, all of this new talent, the 10 women tag match and stuff, and then seeing Julia win. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot. She technically is supposed to be the next one up to go against Roxanne. That's why she ain't even defended it yet, because we still waiting on that. So I was like, that was great. And then Drew and CM Punk, like you said, bro, everything that they did as far as that feud goes, and for it to end there, for that spot Drew took on the steel steps,
that shit was gnarly.
It felt personal. Like, that
was one of those where you're watching it and I'm all over here like this, like, shit, what that did?
You feel it. You feel it when it happens.
Yeah, I felt that one. That one sucked. That had to suck.
Pulling out the bag of beads and throwing it onto the ring floor, like, it just.
I thought that was creative as shit. At first, I was like, okay, so we're doing tax again, and I'm like, oh shit, those are beads.
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay, and I was like, wait a minute, that is hilarious. That was a great match, story wise, wrestling wise, and then honorable mention of how to use a Hell in a Cell without having to go so berserk and climbing in and falling through tables. Like, you made Hell in a Cell us remember
Hell
what
in a Cell again
is.
I agree with that, because that was like one of my biggest bitches with Hell in a Cell for a while. Is like, originally the whole point to Hell in a Cell was to keep two motherfuckers in there. All right. And now the fact that we're fighting all over the floor and out in front of the table and all that shit. So now what's the point of the Hell in a Cell? But
like, everybody can break out of this thing. Like, how the fuck Shane McMahon break out of Hell in a Cell?
It was one thing with Mankind and The Undertaker, right? Because like they started up there. They never got in there. But now it's like they start in there and it's like, okay, shit, I got to figure out how I'm going to get through the door. The door's locked. Let me throw the stairs through this bitch real quick.
Be like, you know what? I know we're supposed to be in the ring, but I think we should go on the top of it. Like, that's what the people want. The people want us to be on top of here fighting and seeing what's going on.
And I'm glad it's not red anymore, but that's another
that was story. I don't know whose
I was at the first one when they were all red, because it was here in Detroit, and I remember sitting there like, why the fuck did they paint it red?
I was like, what? I was like, so are we gonna have a blue Hell in a Cell for SmackDown? I was like, oh, it's just
we got cocaine. We got cocaine, bro.
Oh, hey, listen. Now that's indie.
I've seen it live and in person, bro. And that guy had a whole bag of fucking nose candy with him. But TK, what was your favorite match of 2024?
That's the indie wrestler right there. Cocaine.
I was like, where did both of your heads go?
It vanished.
Man, this is so tough. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to describe this because you guys won't be able to see it until the beginning of next year. Oh, dang it. I don't even think I can describe it. No, I think I can. Okay. So you guys are looking at me like, what is she talking about? So there was a match at All Caribbean Wrestling that had to do with Red Velvet and her trainer, JB Cool. This match was top tier in so many ways. It happened in the Bahamas, and it was just really a great intergender match that you'll be able to see at the beginning of the year. That really stood out to me because she held her own. Like Red Velvet's actually tiny. So that's the match that stands out to me. Yeah, she's tiny. And he's not tiny. So that was a really good match. And then I feel like Royal Rumble of this year was really good. The women's match was really good as well.
Yeah. No,
I can fuck with that because
I get my years are getting messed up because when did Trin sign back with WWE?
That was she came back in the Rumble this year too.
So
Because
when did
that
she
was
have
when
a match
Jordan-
with?
Was that this Rumble or was that 2023?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I'm thinking her and Jordan's match was really good.
I
I
know
don't know if
Jordan
that was-
debuted in the Rumble this year because I was there. At the
Yeah,
Rumble
but
this year.
so Naomi came back previously to right?
Oh,
No.
I'm confused.
Bosa, let us know in the chat.
Now I'm confused and feel like I'm losing it. But I know
Yeah.
the Jordan Grace one
No.
came back at the Rumble this year.
Yeah, no, it was this year. It was 2024.
I was right, son of a bitch. I thought so.
Both of them. She came out first. She was the first one.
Yeah, matter of fact, they wrestled each other the week before on
she was the
TNA,
second.
Okay.
and then they showed up in the Rumble. I was right. I was like, I
Okay.
swear I thought that was this year.
Yeah, because
that was badass.
that's who Jordan started her reign as champion from. She beat Naomi.
Mhm.
That's right.
Right. She beat her like the week before on TNA, and then they both were in the Royal Rumble.
Which is
yeah, I definitely can rock with that. Shout out to WWE for having us. As far as matches of the year for me, I kind of stole I did the same thing as the councilman on this one, but I think the match that I think a lot of people are going to say was match of the year and not necessarily match of the year for the sense of like the match itself so much would be like Cody and Roman from night 2 with all the shit that came into it and the impact that had as a whole. Like, I mean, it's kind of hard for that not to really be up there. I mean, I know I was losing my shit even though I was busy freezing my balls off in Philly, but that was number one. And if I had to do an honorable mention, we've mentioned so much WWE, but dude, Will Ospreay versus fucking Bryan Danielson was a badass match. I have been waiting for Will Ospreay to come over to the States and wrestle here more full time for a long time. If there's one thing that I'll say that I like that AEW's done, and I think it's given a lot of platform for him over there, is Will Ospreay. I think we've seen Will Ospreay talk and do a better job on the mic than I knew that he was capable of doing with promos and things like that. We've seen badass matches with multiple people at this point, between the one with Danielson, the one with Pac. I think the match that he just had with Kyle Fletcher was pretty badass too. So if I'm picking one, I'm going to go with the Cody match just for its overall impact on what it did to wrestling for the year. But if I'm not going with that one, man, that Will Ospreay Bryan Danielson match was fire, especially given, again, go figure, I'm talking about stories in AEW, but Will Ospreay really hyping up how much Bryan Danielson's career and his run had into getting Will Ospreay into wrestling. So the whole thing as a whole, if we're going matches, I think that those got to be up there for me.
No, those are some great matches. So
I don't feel so bad. And see, this is the good part about hosting your own show. Then if I don't want to pick just one, I can say, fuck yeah, I'm going to pick two. Yeah. But, all right, let's go. Shout out to, and forgive me while I say this, because I got some of J-Bone's picks as well over here. He's busy spinning the tunes, but he gave me a few of his picks. So we picked, he said match of the year was Punk and Drew Hell in a Cell. He said story of the year for him, he agrees with TK and picked the Bloodline. And let's see, which other one do we have? We did
indie wrestler.
Yeah. Let's see what he. I don't think he put that one on here. Yeah, he didn't put that one on there. But one of the ones he did put on here that I kind of had to steal once he did it was when you talk about shocking moments of the year. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't got to interview both of them, but I have interviewed one half of this moment. And Hangman losing his shit and lighting Swerve's house on fire. Was not fucking expecting that at all on my bingo card on TV in 2024. Didn't expect that. And I remember, and the fact that they sat there and just let that bitch just burn on TV. I'm like, wow.
That's wild. Yeah.
That
And
was
sitting
cool.
there in that rocking chair just.
And the fact that they put out the video before that, because they didn't play the video of him doing it until it was on Dynamite, and that they actually strategically took the time to put the video with Nana and Swerve that played out on all social media before that of him buying the house. And then in the same night, he burns that bitch down, man. I don't know. As far as shocking ones, I agree with J-Bone. J-Bone went with me on that one. And Hangman burning the house down will go with my shocking moment of the year. TK, what do you got?
I wouldn't say this is shocking, but I feel like it's on brand and very something I would do. The Rock the Rock becoming the final boss and giving himself his own belt. Very
Yo, that is definitely
well, and the belt was given to him by, was it Muhammad Ali's grandma or whatever it was? That was dope. So I mean, and
like,
you can say
like,
that's got history too.
Yeah, I feel like who does that? Oh, The Rock does that. Like I feel like again, this is the good era that we're in with a lot of wrestling, but in particular WWE coming out of the Vince era, is that there's just a lot of unexpected stuff. Like, I don't think we would have gotten the longevity of the bloodline if Vince was still in charge.
nah.
Agreed.
So,
Certainly,
so
we wouldn't have had a champion that long.
Yeah.
No.
So I feel like that was just, it wasn't shocking, but it was just like, where did you get it?
It's shocking. It's like, word. Like you go carve out your time on WrestleMania. Also, you go pull your Brahma Bull out and put it on the table and let everybody know what you okay.
Yeah.
You do that, sir.
Andy,
and we could piggyback with that, him beating up Cody in front of that bus. That's what I was
about just saying. Yeah. He beat the shit out of him in front of that bus.
Yeah. I got two shocking moments. I don't know if it's up there like that with the one Jal said, but it was shocking to me. Dominic turning on Rhea. Was
when he kissed Liv, that was cold-blooded.
I was not ready for that. I was like, yo, my man really like, yo, you went from Raven to woman, huh? You just Dominic pull him like that.
The chicken tender slut.
Yo. And then I had to remember, I was like, yo, all of y'all done seen him on TV when he was a kid. Like he technically like a child star that grew up. And it's like, yo, no wonder you pulling all these women. I was like, oh, this really makes sense. This is like I was like, wow. And then the other one was Joe Hendry coming to NXT.
I'm not mad at that. I almost did that my damn self.
That was wild. I was not ready for that. And just how everybody stood up and sang this song to let you know, like, yo, if you don't know who Joe Hendry is, you're about to.
And the fact that it still is one of the highest rated clips WWE had all fucking year. And he's not even signed by them. Like,
one thing that beat them was Roman and CM Punk. That's the only thing
that's what I'm saying. Like, that should say something. So I'm interested to see what's next for Joe Hendry on this one. Speaking of Joe Hendry, I guess I'll go Breakout Star next. For me, Joe Hendry is the only logical answer on this one because, I mean, dude, that guy, like, he was already big because of TNA and stuff, but the way that guy was able to, like, take over WWE TV for, like, that few month period, and even, like, seeing the heads in the crowd on, like, Raw and SmackDown and everything else, I mean, that guy really, and I got to interview him here in Detroit for TNA. So shout out to TNA for that. But yeah, man, I think Joe Hendry is the only right answer on this one because I can't really think anybody who had a bigger year. But if I'm gonna not choose him, well, since we can go, I guess we can go two on this one. I'll say male and female. I think the other breakout star is another TNA one, and that's Jordan Grace. I mean, the way Jordan Grace was able to continually show up on NXT, have the belt in TNA, defend the shit everywhere, had her thing with Masha at Bound for Glory here in Detroit, and now as she's kind of finishing up her run there, I think Jordan Grace's stock is raised up here in 2024. So if I'm picking one, I'll go Joe Hendry, but if I'm not going with Joe Hendry, it would be Jordan Grace.
I will double your Jordan Grace, and then I will add Jacob Fatu.
Jacob Fatu is the homie.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
Shout out the Big Oos, man. When that dude ran up on me in Philly, I thought he was gonna break my back with the bear hug he gave me, dude.
Yeah, like I feel like we all expected, but how he's managed to carve, like there's just something about him that sticks out, and he's playing the role so well. That again, it's kind of like there's so many multi splinters to this bloodline thing. Like there's gonna be a whole thing with him eventually, where he's gonna just wreck the locker room completely. So yeah, he's definitely a standout, a breakout star.
Yeah,
I can get with that.
I can definitely get with
Actually,
that.
I take back Jordan. Although I love Jordan, I want to do my fellow Canadian Chelsea Green.
Dang it! That was my pick.
Not a bad pick, dude, and I'm happy as hell
that
for
was
Chelsea.
my pick. Yeah, man. Need I say more? Like the woman did it. Like,
and shout out to her for showing Cardona some love too. Like it didn't even dawn on me at first at Saturday night's main event. I saw the Rough Rider, but then I didn't even think about the tights till after the fact. Like the whole thing was dope.
Yep. I always say, well, and I said it on WWT too. I was like, I would love to see them allow her to do, like, for Chelsea to be the Deadpool of WWE. Like I was like, I think that would be so dope for her character and stuff. Like, imagine her talking to Nick Khan, and Nick is like, "You gonna defend your title tonight in the main event of SmackDown against like Naomi?" And it's like, oh. And then she pans to the camera, "Suck it, man. I got a main event on SmackDown, bitch." and she goes back to it. I was like, yo, that would be so dope if they let you do that. And then I had one more, Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland breakout. Just need I say more? First.
I am not mad at that, but I felt like Swerve was the breakout last year. I feel like his run up to like getting himself into that spot to be the world champ, I feel like was where his star was really running. I feel like by the time he got to the world title, everybody knew what time it was. But I mean, he had a great run with the belt too.
Yeah, that's why I just like that run because it can always, especially in AEW, fall. And so for him to get to the mountain, get the championship, and to have the run that he had, it was like, yo, this is your breakout time. So
and to get paid. Shout out to Swerve.
So I had to give it to him. Yeah.
Not mad at that one. I picked the last one. So TK, which one you want to do next? We still got male and female superstar of the year. You've got return of the year, and then you've got pay-per-view.
Heel of the year, and then favorite wrestling show moment.
Yeah. I figure we'll save that one for last.
Let's do heel of the year.
All right. Who you got?
Ooh.
I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious. I mean,
is it?
Yeah. I'm gonna let you go because you picked first.
Okay, you go first.
It's Dominic Mysterio.
Fuck you.
Dominic Mysterio is heel of the year. That man has not had a full promo.
The chicken tender slut.
That man ain't had a whole promo this year. He has not been allowed to talk this whole year.
That's true. That's true.
That man cannot go in the ring and talk. Every time that man gets booed, like even Triple H said, "Yo, I thought they pumped that in. I didn't realize that was really this loud.
I thought they did too for the longest time till I heard that shit in person.
Yo, I've never seen anyone do that to a crowd ever. Even when Snitsky kicked a baby, they were not booing.
I'm not mad at that. Well, now you know who I picked as well. See, Boza said he thought they did too, damn it.
Yeah.
We both picked Dominic. TK, who do you got?
Damn, I guess I'll go with Dominic. I can't, now that you have that in my head, because I'm thinking of the biggest female heel of the year.
Liv Morgan would be it, I feel like.
You think Liv?
Probably Liv.
As far as a heel, the way that everybody was pissed with what happened with Rhea, I feel like it's Liv. It sounds like the only one who picked somebody different here out of all of us was J-Bone on this one. Who do you got? TK, are you going Dom or you got a different name?
Or unless you got Mercedes Moné. See?
Yeah, I'll go between those two. It would have to be Liv. Mercedes, it's not
clicking the way they wanted to.
Yeah,
Liv was a great heel. Like none of us expected her to do this.
Look,
and
the makeout with Dom had everybody like, yo, what the fuck? And then when she won the belt the way she did, yo, what the fuck? And then she went and got the crown jewel ring and all that stuff too, man. I mean, I gotta give credit where it's due on that one.
Yeah.
But if I'm picking heel, like Pharoh said, dog, I gotta go with Dom. But J-Bone picked Solo Sikoa. I'm not mad at that pick. I don't know about heel of the year, but
yeah, that's the thing. Like he was good. He was.
I don't know that I can put him over Dom though, or
Dom or Liv in that one.
The man has not got to say anything.
That's why I picked the way I did. I'm with you. I think it's Dom. But who knows? Maybe it's his on-screen lady over here, Liv Morgan, too. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll go with that one. Is it your pick or my pick?
Go ahead.
Let's do best PLE.
All right.
I mean,
what you got?
We all know it's WrestleMania 40. Like,
wow. Okay, so I tried to stay away from that one because I've always looked at WrestleMania as like its own thing. Like, I feel like those can't really be compared to PLEs because
the only reason why though is because of everything that it did. It's different.
Dude, it was fucking amazing.
Even like, the only bad thing is I was cold. That's it.
It was literally the Avengers of PLEs. Like there's no like that jewel shines so bright. It's like, yo, hey, y'all, there's no one topping that for 2024. So it's like we have to acknowledge it. Just like our tribal chief, we have to acknowledge WrestleMania was the best PLE of.
See, I was gonna go with Kyle. Like I feel like we weren't gonna include it because it's just so like over and above other PLE. To the point, do you notice? We're calling it PLEs. Most places still call it pay-per-views. So like
that
clearly you're in your subconscious
that I just did that.
Yeah, your subconscious is saying that, and
that is WrestleMania.
Yeah, I might.
Okay,
yeah,
it's okay.
I might have to throw in the chip with because, and also too, I don't know if, and this is slightly off topic, but not really. If the pandemic put us through this warp time zone, because this year has felt like 2 years.
Yeah,
like that WrestleMania 40 seemed like it was last year and not this year, and I don't know.
It does seem like a long ass time ago.
Yeah,
no, it's like it's
so long ago.
Yeah. No,
so I would have to. I mean, yeah. Even now that I think I'm kind of going back in time, when the big three came up, like Destiny's Child. Oh my god!
On now. Damian Priest cashed in.
The whole shit was badass. Like I can't argue that. Like
the tag teams got split up again. Finally, they got rid of that bullshit that McMahon created and got the tag team division back.
Even though they didn't defend the one tag title for like,
I mean, hey,
year, but hey.
Semantics. But CM Punk screwing Drew McIntyre over, one of the best. Again, feud of the year, match of the year. We wouldn't have got that without that.
You know, I was on the floor for that, and there were people that I thought were going to rush the ring. But to stick with my earlier thought on it, I'm going to stay away from WrestleMania because I feel like that's the obvious pick, but I feel like that could really win every year.
No. I will say.
Well,
that.
not every year, but I'm just saying, like, especially with what they had this year between all the stuff with The Rock and Cody and how long it had taken Cody to like win the story. The fact that everybody was like, okay, either he wins this year or bust. I feel like there wasn't really shit you were going to do to really overcome that. But if we're not.
But we can say WrestleMania LA is definitely not the best PLE.
Oh no,
it was good, but it's not the best one.
I can't agree with that because I thought the backlash that was in where the hell were they? The backlash they had in Puerto Rico last year was badass. That was my favorite, and that's the one I picked on the show. Since I said I'm going to stay away from WrestleMania. It's crazy to me to say this because obviously I haven't watched as much of it as I was at one time, but I thought that AEW Revolution, the one in Greensboro, with Sting's last match, with his kids coming out during the entrance, Darby going through the glass, and everything else that was there. AEW Revolution was one of my favorites. And if I didn't pick that one, J-Bone picked SummerSlam. I picked SummerSlam. Ring the bell. Get you a Ring the Bell shirt. That's what you need to do. Get you a Ring the Bell shirt. But we were both at SummerSlam, so if I'm not going to go with Revolution, SummerSlam would be my honorable mention on that one. And J-Bone picked SummerSlam as well.
That was a good SummerSlam. It's your pick, right?
TK hasn't picked one in a minute. What you got?
We got Breakout promotion. We got Breakout promotion, Return of the Year.
I'll do
and
Breakout
male and
promotion.
female.
I feel like you probably know my answer. Just very biased.
Of course.
I know where she's going with this one.
Yes.
Do you? Yeah, you probably do. So Breakout promotion. And it's also maybe a lead up to 2025 because everybody hasn't had the opportunity to see all the great things that are going to happen. So Breakout promotion, which is, this is clearly very biased for those who don't know, is our main sponsor for WWT, All Caribbean Wrestling. So you definitely should check out their stuff and the stuff that is to come because it's really, really good.
Not mad at that.
There's some names. There's some names.
I'm just going to throw it out there. You need to tell them that if they need anybody else who can work a microphone, you can definitely stuff me in your suitcase next time.
Man, look, I am, as Will knows, look, people who are down here and who are under the TK umbrella, like I try to take care of. That's all I have to say.
She's working. Just have patience. But believe me.
Don't forget your homie in Detroit. I'm down with WWE.
That's one thing I'll say about it. She definitely knows.
I already know the game. I'm just talking shit like I always do. I like that pick. But since I'm flapping my gums, I gotta go with TNA this year, dude. Like TNA really had a resurgence this year. They had more buzz on TNA than I feel like we can say they've had in quite a long time. Not only just from their women's division, but like the collaboration with NXT, the influx of WWE people that we saw come over there, the amount of sellouts and things that they did. It was dope to have Bound for Glory back here in Detroit and get to cover all that stuff and be there live for all that. Shout out to Chris Bay while I'm talking about that. Hopefully get well soon. That was one of the scariest fucking things I've ever seen in front of my face. Yeah, that was pretty wild. But TNA made a lot of good strides this year. I feel like TNA, if they can keep the momentum going, is going to have a good 2025 as well. But between Joe Hendry, Jordan Grace, the Hardys coming back there, you had a lot of really dope stuff. Nick Nemeth and his run that he's had there. I mean, there's a lot of good things that have happened in TNA this year, so I'm going to go TNA.
All right. I'm also very biased, and I'm also going hometown for myself, and that's going to be Reality of Wrestling, ROW. I definitely believe they're the Breakout promotion. Getting their podcast now established on ESPN, getting put as with under the WWE ID, and so much traffic has started going that way. Like people want to be a part of like Booker T's promotion.
Shout out to our guy Chandler Hopkins, the young gun. What's good, my G?
Yeah. So I'd have to say them. Like I've seen them. I've also wrestled with some of the folks when I used to wrestle. So to train with some of those guys from there in our promotion. So again, that's why I said I am biased when it comes to it. But it is just dope to see like it's still going and it's getting like the recognition it has and producing some dope superstars. Like of course, you know, my top client, you know, is one of them. So you know, reality of wrestling, Breakout promotion of the year.
Not mad at that. I said we were going to save the favorite show moments for our respective shows till the end of this. So let's we'll just do them both together. Male and female wrestler of the year. TK, who do you got?
Male and female wrestler of the year. Man, these are kind of like without narrowing it down, like all mine are gonna be very biased. Of the year. Okay. And then it's also the criteria. But I'm gonna go with Chelsea Green.
I like that.
Because she's been putting in the work and it's very well deserved. And she's Canadian. That's just that's the biased part.
Canadian.
For men of the year. Ooh. I wouldn't say of the year, but standing out in my mind currently, if that's a category, I'd say Gunther.
I'm not mad at that because that's who J-Bone picked.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that either.
All right, Will, who you got?
I hate to give it to him. Because, you know, all this is his fault. All this is his fault.
Uh-oh. I know now.
Male wrestler of the year is of course, Cody Rhodes. Like, they put it on his back. He carried it around and turned it into a cape and has soared to new heights. You know, whether you love him, whether you hate him, whether you think his championship reign is great, whether you think it's mediocre, it is the John Cena effect. It is still going to be lasting, and he's doing his thing. Female wrestler of the year. I mean, it's quite obvious. If anyone was to say something, and again, she was biased, so she chose Canada. So hers don't count in this because she chose Canada. You're gonna go territorial like that. That's not fair.
Damn,
we all know.
At least I was honest.
You were. That's why.
And she picked an out of the box pick.
She did, but we all know the female wrestler of the year is Roxanne Perez.
Wow.
Like,
okay, that wasn't who I thought. Okay.
Who better than Roxanne this year?
Who better than Canyon? But you know,
come on now. Over eight title defenses. She had the most title defenses this year out of everybody. Not just WWE, AEW, all of them. She put up the most title defenses this year. She burst. She was the top of the mountain for every top independent female superstar that wanted to come into, and they wanted her crown. They want her title. Elevated to where y'all have the greatest women's division on the planet right now, which is NXT. And they're headlining the shows now. And who is at the top of the mountain carrying all of that? Roxanne Perez.
Hey, I can rock with that. I've been rocking with her since she was Roxy. But
also Chelsea Green, though, because Chelsea Green was
dude, I couldn't be happier for her. I wish I had really kind of thought of that, but to me, is, you know, stereotypical as this will sound, I feel like, to your point, I feel like there's only really like two or three ways you could really go with this. TK kind of busted that one out the frame, but J-Bone agreed with me, other than the fact that he's got Gunther as his male superstar of the year. For me, I think, to
to your point, I went with Cody Rhodes on the male end just for the simple fact that he was the way he was able to carry everything, the numbers they were doing. The guy was everywhere, and the way that kids were just losing their mind over this guy. And anyone that's followed Knockouts and 3 Counts for a while, I've been singing his praises since he left WWE. Originally, I think the way that he rebuilt himself, and then which led into AEW, which led into him coming back to WWE and everything in between. I think his run back to the WWE and then what's happened since he's came back will be something that we'll be talking about for quite a long time. And then as far as the women go, I really wish I'd have thought of that Chelsea's thing, but J-Bone and I agreed on this one. I think it's got to be Liv Morgan. From where she was at WrestleMania time to where she's at now, and you talk about title defenses and all those things, she's done that. She was like a home wrecker and stole all of Rhea Ripley's shit, including her dude.
Took everything from her.
I mean, she said she was gonna.
She Thanos did. Like Thanos
She
said,
totally did. So I mean, she turned Dom into the chicken tender slut.
I mean,
I mean, that might be one of the best insults I've ever
the
heard
man
a woman
had toilet
use
paper.
towards a guy.
Like they said, you can wipe your behind with Dominic's face. That is genius. That dude is that's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he ain't even really did nothing yet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, like I said, bro, like between the way that they've done that run, I think Dom has really proven his worth too. But yeah, as far as
you also have to give him his flowers for rocking that stupid haircut day in, day out.
Yeah, look here. Don't you disrespect the motherfucking mullet, okay? Eddie Guerrero would be spinning in his grave, all right? It's not as good as Eddie's mullet, but that's because we all don't know what the fuck Eddie had in his mullet. We don't know if that was like mousse or was it just water? Was it? I mean, that was like borderline Jerry curl juice.
I have to agree with TK on this one. I'm like, hey,
because you have to commit to the character and wear that hairstyle day in and day out. Even when you're on the road most of the time, but the days you're not, like, you're just going to the grocery store, like that's a commitment.
And that mustache.
And the mustache. Yeah, the whole head hair situation. We have to give him an award for that. That's just dedication.
Yeah, that's why he healed it.
And I mean, not that I think it wouldn't cause problems. I mean, dude, look, I get the man is married, but let's be honest. This dude's married and has managed to go through Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley all in the same year's time without getting his head chopped off in between. Like, I mean, look, I'm just saying the dude was doing something on the heel side of things. But yeah,
as far as male and female, I feel like it's got to be Liv and Cody. But I definitely think that there's some other options for that one. Feel free to drop those in the comments and what you guys think. But that brings us to the last one of the year, in that it's favorite show moment. So I'll let y'all go first. What was your favorite things that y'all got to do for WWT this year?
Oh, wow. God. There's so many.
It's a good topic, ain't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't been able to do as many shows as I would like to because, man, I have like 5 jobs. But I'll go a little sappy. I'm glad we were able to bring Will on the show. I feel, damn, like this. I was saying, this is like warp time. I pretty much feel like Honey started early last year, but it might have been this year. I don't know.
No, she's coming up on her 1 year, so it's about to be
okay.
I remember
yeah, I feel like, I mean, for y'all who are watching us on Knockouts at 3 Counts and haven't experienced WWT live, it is quite the adventure. So the show moments are always great, laughable moments. I guess the one that sticks out and hopefully Bonner's on tomorrow. Our 416 moment, that was definitely that was funny. And if you don't know, I'm referencing. You're gonna have to come on WWT Live tomorrow to
Man,
see
look.
exactly what I'm talking about. I guess there's a storyline with me and the gentleman caller. It's a whole situation. But yeah, I think that was probably a really funny moment. Man, I don't think it's a moment. I think WWT is just it's an ever growing entity that is just constantly adding new people and new things and evolving. I believe we're approaching our 8th year. And yeah, it's just, I mean, I guess overall, I'm really proud that we're at about 400 plus interviews of female wrestlers, women's wrestlers. And we have more interviews on deck. We have bigger projects coming up. We have a big project that I, really want to tap into the middle of next year. So yeah, I don't think there's one moment. I guess more it's like a feel good thing. I'm really just happy with the people that are involved, and it's never a dull moment. I love a good laugh, and everybody who's involved with WWT is, loves, has just a great sense of humor and loves wrestling.
I can get with that. Councilman, what do you got?
I have two favorite moments, and they definitely from WWT. The match that never happened. The bash of the politicians. It was the debate that was supposed to rock YouTube, and it never happened. And then I would have to say the dynamic feud between the councilman and the mayor of Vice City. I think that was, if anything, I would say that probably is up there with rivalry of the year, if I'm being honest. Like, we might have to put that in our award show. Because that was
is that said, or which one? Who's the mayor?
That's
on that?
said.
That's said.
Man, you guys are bringing out skeletons of my past. Shout out to Sid.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was a great feud, a great battle.
Both of that is a good one. Oh, I don't think you were here for that one, Will. So I think that.
Oh no, yeah, I missed the Pound Town era. I definitely.
Oh my gosh, that was a good one too. I was doing some editing for Pound Town Wrestling. Shout out to Ariane. And the sound I used was Pound Town Wrestling, and yeah, Professor's face just he's a Christian man,
NXT Bonafide. That's another favorite.
Yeah, moment. That's a good one too.
NXT Bonafide. The hashtag that is very memorable. Shout out to everyone that consistently keeps using that, and we really want it to come to life. Like, it's a lot of moments on that show. I think me and like Dion's always said when we hop on here, it's like that's one of the brightest parts of our days. We do a lot of stuff, but like at 3:00 or at like for him 6, it's like, yeah, I can't wait to get here. Whether it's a good day,
be prepared to laugh.
Yeah, and to have a good time.
I rock with that. All right, as far as knockouts and 3 counts, I will I'll read J Bones first. He said his favorite show moment was getting to do the Matt Cardona interview, which I will definitely give that one a very honorable mention in that one. Shout out to TNA. We won't go into specifics, but yeah, man, it was dope for us to finally get to make some things happen with TNA. It was definitely good times. The Cardona interview did real well, and was kind of full circle a lot of ways for us, because I remember, matter of fact, here you go. The first time I interviewed Matt Cardona was the day that I met TK in the first place.
I was just thinking that.
And now that was the first one that we bring on the show from TNA. So yeah, that was pretty cool. But for me, there's 2 of them. One, I'll pick one from the wrestling side, one from the MMA side. From the wrestling side, just the fact that we were able to expand so much. Like in 1 year's time, we've worked with every major wrestling company there was, between WWE, TNA, AEW. We got to work the Royal Rumble. I interviewed You know, and the Royal Rumble especially, because
Those of you who have been following knockouts and 3 counts for a while,
you would know that in the very beginning of this show, Shayna Baszler was supposed to be a guest on the show,
except, because of politics, things like the councilman might know about politics with WWE and stuff like that.
those things couldn't happen.
Shout out to Tara LaRosa, who made a call to Shayna Baszler for me right from the jiu-jitsu mat after she got done kicking my ass, and goes, "Hey, you should have Shayna Baszler on the show." Okay, I'd love to do that. How the fuck does that work? And she said she couldn't do it. And we've seen each other at a couple NXT shows. Fast forward to the Rumble and getting to do that. And then talking to Shayna after we were done, she's like, "Oh my God, I was just in her wedding." I said, "Yeah, I know." And like, that was a really cool one for us. And getting to be down there. Shout out to Mega Rand. It was dope kicking it with Westside Gun and them while we were down there. It was a time to be had. And on the MMA side of things,
I would say all the commentary we've gotten to do, like getting to bring the boys around and getting to have all three of us on live pay-per-view for fights and things like that. But for me personally, the Clarissa Shields fight was huge. Those that don't know, I grew up boxing in Detroit from the time I was 13 to the time I was about 16, 17. Like, I mean, I was, I grew up, put it this way. I was fighting in the amateurs and was around the Golden Gloves before Clarissa Shields was a pro, before Tony Harrison was a pro, before Jayleon Love was a pro. All these people were fighting in the amateur. Tony Harrison, I seen them all fight in the amateurs. And then so to be there under my show's name on a DAZN pay-per-view, get to do the weigh-in, get to do the press conference, post-fight press conference, them bringing us all back through catering after the thing. Here, you guys want to eat at a pro fight like that. Like that was pretty special. We got to actually interview Clarissa a couple times this year, once for her fight for PFL, once for her boxing fight. And a little birdie told me that there just might be something going to happen with that new movie, A Fire Inside, coming to Knockouts and 3 Counts to you.
Okay.
So, for any of you guys that are fans of women's wrestling talk, we can give you the wrestling and the combat sports over here on Knockouts and 3 Counts. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Shout out to J-Bone. Shout out to Corey. Corey, you son of a bitch. I don't know what you're doing. But TK and Councilman, I appreciate both of y'all for coming through. This is the 2024 edition of the Knockouts. There's a lot coming from us. As you've heard, there's a lot coming from Women's Wrestling Talk. We definitely got to do this again soon. If y'all got anything else you want to throw out there, the floor is yours.
You can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. You can follow Women's Wrestling Talk on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Check out our website, www.talkpod.com, and check out new things that are about to be happening in 2025.
Yeah, you can find me at We Like Wings over here. We are trying.
I like wings too. See, there's Wingstop right here.
We love wings over here. We enjoy
wings.
We enjoy wings over here. Just so the world knows. You can always find me on YouTube and Twitch pretty much Monday through Friday on WWT. This lady got me here almost every day.
Slave worker.
Who's in today? Hey, can you lead like today? Yes. Okay, cool. Just remember, New Year's Evil is in Los Angeles, and so is Raw. We trying. Remember, when you think of breakout WWT talent of the year, I'm not saying I'm the top nominee, but I'm just saying.
But I'm I'm the top nominee.
I know at least I got to be at least in the.
Yeah, is that a category in our award show?
It could be.
He just made himself the winner. I'll mail you your trophy.
No. I don't want to be the winner, but you can pay me off with them tickets. Be like, hey, I don't need that award no way. That should go to somebody else, and I'll just.
He's gonna clutch his dreads real tight. Well, if you're clutching your dreads real tight, make sure you hit that subscribe button while you're doing it. Make sure you pay attention. This is going to be the last Knockouts and 3 Counts of this year. But as I mentioned, Legends of Combat is getting ready to come at you. 2 Piece Promotions is coming at you. And I'm going to be doing some robot fighting. Holy shit. Let's hope I don't get killed by the robots. Make sure you hit your subscribe button. Check it out. And if you see us out and about, say what up, though. In the meantime and in between time, hit that subscribe button. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, happy all the things. Enjoy your time with your family and be cool to your postal workers. You know, we have a hard time not going postal as it is. You'll get your fucking package, I promise. Peace.